especially with visiting all the time from Urbana because I'm never going there, right?
That was unnecessary to share on the podcast, but yeah.
That was just...
What's up, guys? Welcome back to an interesting discussion. Sometimes I'm your host, Faran. I'm back with the regular. I don't know if I'm your host, but I'm back with the other three hosts, the other three co-hosts, Turin, Harsha, and Christian. And this week we're just gonna be talking about we're gonna be following up with some of the discussion we had on the last episode we had with the four of us, and also some events that have happened in our personal lives. But first, we wanted to start on a more somber note. This is being recorded a couple days after it was announced the UVA shooting that occurred earlier. Was it Friday?
Sunday.
This past week, in which three football players, their names, Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry, and Laryl Davis Jr. We just want to send our prayers out to their family and their friend, and especially just the Charlottesville community in general. We've been to UVA a lot of times. I think I've probably said in this podcast, I'm not a fan of UVA sports teams, but in this current times, it's just sad to see this happening. I mean, our school, Virginia Tech, has also had a shooting in the past or recent past, and it's just tough times for everyone. But we just wanted to extend our condolences to everyone that's been affected. That being said, we're going to move on to our first topic today. It's going to be about FTX, which we're going to have our finance expert, Harsha, take over. Correspondent, yes. And expert, too, actually. So some people have said.
So yeah, I'm definitely not an expert, but I can try. So yeah, those of you who don't know, FTX is a crypto company that allows their customers to buy and sell crypto on the platform. And it was one of the big players, like Coinbase and other ones. And you've probably seen Tom Brady on some of those ads. But yeah, they went bankrupt, so that's gone. It's kind of crazy. It's pretty bad for the industry as a whole, just because one of the major players has fallen so quickly, and for kind of shady reasons. So not great overall. Luckily for Paxos, which is where I work, we're okay, so that's good. Still have a job. But I guess I can talk about how this happened. So this guy, FTX was founded a couple of years ago by this guy named Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF. And he sucks. He's a stupid guy. So basically,
he's a geek. I'll get into that later. Just go ahead.
Yeah. So I think he went to MIT, whatever. So he's a super smart guy.
But basically, he's super stupid.
Yeah, he's super stupid and super smart.
Insane.
He's smart for making FTX and stupid for
everything that happened afterwards.
Yeah. So this guy Sam also has a trading firm called Alameda Research, and basically that trading firm buys and sells crypto, and he basically used the customer funds that he had in FTX to fund Alameda Research, which is just engaging in arbitrage trading, so buying low on crypto and selling it high somewhere else. Which is completely you can't just use your customers' funds to fund your own thing. That doesn't make any sense. This Alameda Research also has a lot of FTT tokens on their balance sheet, which is the crypto token sponsored by FTX. So basically, they were really linked together, which is why that since Alameda Research lost some of their risky bets with their customer funds, FTX also just as a result gets screwed over and loses a lot of money. So they lost hundreds of millions of dollars of customer funds, filed for bankruptcy. Binance, which is another company, was going to buy them. And then the guy named CZ, who's the CEO of Binance, just looked at it and was nah, I'm out. So then they further got screwed. Binance had a lot of FTT tokens and they just dumped it all. So that just dropped the value of that token from $78 to $3. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
And what was funny about that too is once this happened, SBF and FTX, sorry, a lot of acronyms.
SBF,
they went to exactly. they went to Binance and were like, "Hey, can you buy us out because we're having problems?" Obviously, and at first people thought that that's what's gonna happen, and then the CEO of Binance came back and he's like, "Nah, it's fucked up. I'm good." So he literally dumped all of their tokens. Screwed
Quite literally
over
just
their-
took out the whole
yeah,
company.
literally just probably one of the best business moves of all time. Honestly, I would say yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Harsha.
Yeah, it's wild. I think another effect of this is that Solana, which is like a network that is primarily on FTX, also lost a lot of value. It's like a fairly new one. So yeah, it sucks overall. Bad for FTX, fine for me, bad for crypto overall. Yeah, that's a summary.
So this has no impact on Paxos at all, or
No, I mean, I think it impacts all companies, like including Paxos, because indirectly, if the industry takes a hit, then each company that's in the industry also has a negative impact because there's like less trust going
yeah,
on.
I know. That's what I was trying
Those
to get
things,
at, I
but like
guess.
directly, no.
Yeah, that's good.
Yo, this dude, Sam, he's a fucking nut, bro. So I think I mentioned it before where he came and talked at our like meetings that I worked at. And they were like a main sponsor of the meetings as well, right? So we had like a semi-close relationship, and we were apparently like in the process of like getting them to become a member. And I don't really feel like going into what a member does, but basically they can just like they have access to like research that we do, and like they can communicate with other people within the industry, kind of just like have a good sense of what's going on. But one of the big things he was talking about was regulation, which I think we talked about when we talked about this before, is trying to find a way to like get crypto regulated throughout the world. And this guy was basically like okay with being like regulated, which I feel as though isn't as common throughout crypto. Like, I don't know. But anyway, this dickhead showed up on stage wearing a fucking t-shirt and shorts and sneakers while everybody else in the entire room was dressed to the nines, and like he just sounded so he literally was like Mark Zuckerberg from that Facebook movie. What it was called? The
Social Network.
Yeah, the Social Network. What's the actor's name?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Well, he looked like him except with huge curly brown hair like an afro. But he was like super cocky about like, oh yeah, we're like the leading in like firm in the crypto industry, like. And then this was
like 2 months before.
Literally 2 months ago. And now he is worthless. And I saw a completely unrelated article, actually 2 articles. One was that he played League of Legends for 1,000 hours, and then he never got above bronze rank. And I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck that means, but I know that bronze is usually like pretty bad. So I'm gonna guess that means he sucks. And then also the CEO of Barstool was DMing him, trying to get him on a interview. So maybe that's out by now, the time this episode is. But I can only imagine how that conversation is going to go.
Yeah, don't click off our episode for that. That's what you're trying to say. Okay, maybe you're not trying to say that, I guess.
So fuck that guy.
I also saw another thing, some quote he gave a while ago where the person interviewing him was like, I'm addicted to reading, which explains how I ended up becoming a writer. And then this guy, SBF, is like, I would never read a book. I'm very skeptical of books. I don't want to say no book is ever worth reading, but I actually do believe something pretty close to that. Wait, so that means he does say that no book is ever worth reading? Whatever. Then he said, I think if you wrote a book, you fucked up and it should be a 6-paragraph blog post.
What does that mean? Isn't like society built off the knowledge in books of like everyone before us? Like,
yeah, but Tarun,
like, is he talking about now? Like, if it's
I was
now,
gonna say, like, Tarun, this perfectly applies to like how you approach things. Like, why would I read a whole book if I could just read the same exact information in a 6-paragraph blog post?
No, I agree with him on that. But to say that books as a whole are useless is the dumbest shit ever. Like, right?
Is he literophobic?
He's lazy.
Nice.
And he's cocky. I guess he just comes across as cocky, like what Christian said. But yeah. And I think I heard that the board of directors for FTX like just included his dad.
Oh, okay.
I heard
Yeah.
about that, I think, but not
Also,
not sure
yeah,
if that's
the
true. But
his like investment company Alameda Research that he was funding with basically everyone else's money. The CEO of that company was his ex from like MIT or something, and there's a clip going around of her being like, yeah, like I don't actually use like any math anymore, like probably elementary school math nowadays. They're like it's so fucking stupid. They're like a quantitative like hedge fund essentially for crypto, and she doesn't.
Yeah, but she's CEO, bro. She probably didn't do that shit anymore.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel
Maybe
like
she's just
even if
adding
you're the
numbers to see how much
CEO, you
profit
gotta-
she's making every month.
I mean,
don't know.
don't you do fucking multiplication when you go to the gas pump? When you figure out how much you're about to pay for your gas,
Yeah,
Don't
the
you
elementary
think?
school math, bro.
Bro, you do a multiplication in elementary school. It took me till junior year of high school to do multiplication.
I really hope that's
Shut
not
the
true.
hell up. No way. I think it's also important to mention because we didn't necessarily say it outright, but this dude, he's gonna walk away from this fine. He'll still
Oh,
have
yeah.
money.
The
But all of the
workers.
people who
Yeah.
invested in crypto using his platform are fucked. Like literally, like if you didn't take your money out, you're fucked. Like at least with like regular banks, like when like the places that we put our money, it's insured. So if anything happens to the bank, we get like up to whatever. It's like FDIC insured, right? You get up to 250K of your money back. There's none of that for crypto, really. I don't think on his platform at least. So
Yeah.
whatever thousands of dollars these people put in there, especially after all of like the celebrity endorsements and shit that they did, I bet I don't know what the figure is, but I bet you it's a fuck ton of money for normal people. I mean, it's just fucked.
yeah, and for our company, what we had to do was, so we have some of our gold tokens on FTX. Like, I mean, people just buy it from us, and like you can just use it on FTX, but they just froze all of them, all the crypto assets over the weekend. So like, no customer like loses their money or anything like that. So that's what they had to do. But I think generally for crypto, like there just needs to be more regulation.
Yeah.
Like actually, like this stuff can happen for it to succeed, and hopefully this is an example for the other companies out there to like not do anything so stupid. And I think overall it'll end up being better for it.
Yeah. While we're on the topic, I recently came across a video on YouTube that went through like some of the most popular NFTs and where they are now. And about like 90 something percent of them are like 30% of the value that they were when it was like everyone was talking about NFTs and Web3 and all this type of shit.
Yeah.
Because they're all fucking useless pictures. And then in the video, he said the ones that like have actually retained some or most of their value are the ones that like give you some sort of value outside of it just being a piece of artwork that's like hype, Like for example, you guys know the Nelk Boys on YouTube?
Unfortunately.
I've seen some of them. Yeah.
They're like they do a bunch of like pranks and like videos like that, but they had one of their own NFTs. I think they released them for free or for not that much money. But then it gives whoever has those NFTs like access to like events with the YouTubers themselves or like whatever, and like that's like actually like a successful project. Like it's like a ticket. It's like a ticket that you could sell even for future events and stuff. So that makes sense why it kept its value. But I just think it's funny that like everyone and their mom was on like dick riding these NFTs and they're all bullshit now. But I think it's good because that means like phase one of this like bullshit crypto stuff, like meme coins and all that type of stuff, or like whatever we just witnessed.
Look at being washed
SBF.
out and
Yeah, like it means it's moving forward. Like I think because this happened, like people aren't going to do the same dumb shit again,
yeah.
And also I don't think like Kim K and whoever are going to like start tweeting about like crypto coins and like scamming people out of money. I hope this is going to make people have some sort of punishment for that type of behavior. They're just scamming your fans. But yeah, anyway.
They have the bag though,
So much money. So much money.
I was showing like Haran or Harsha, I don't remember that like, so they're like about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, like when players would get signing bonuses for contracts, like they started like trying to be like, oh, I want to take my signing bonus in crypto, or I want to just get like alternative forms of payment. And Odell, like he basically got a new team in the middle of the season, and he like had to alter his contract a little bit. And because whatever coin he like put his contract into, like he wound up owing the team money because it crashed so hard. And then there's like a NBA player who got drafted like this past June or April. I think it was June. And his rookie signing bonus now is worth literally dead even, like nothing. There was also like a movement by this other player, like even like 5 years ago, I think, to try and get like his contract like turned into a crypto contract. But I feel like I feel like it makes more sense to get money and then turn that into, if you want to go buy crypto afterwards, because then you can't like owe the team money like Odell did. I mean, maybe we can, but I feel like you should do that on your own accord rather than trying to like get that into the legalese of your contract. But
well, moving on from one dumbass CEO to another dumbass CEO, we're talking about Elon Musk a little more. We talked about it on the last podcast for a long time, but there have been some updates that have come up in the last week or so.
Does anyone remember what we talked about last time? Was it like the verification thing, or what was it?
We mentioned
talked
it,
about
yeah.
that.
I mean, it's been wiped away since then, right?
no, it's been pushed back. It hasn't even been like wiped away. It's like they're like re-rolling it out at the end of the month.
Oh.
So he's just postponing more idiocy.
I don't know how we didn't see that shit coming. Like it's funny, I guess, like companies imitating other companies and like posting dumb shit, but like how do you not foresee that before launching this? They're supposed to be smart.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think he hasn't like figured out what balance he wants between letting everyone speak and then like also mitigating like the fact that people are just gonna be stupid on Twitter and try to impersonate other people.
He didn't see it coming because he fired all the useful people at Twitter, bro.
Yeah, now there's no pushback really, right?
Yeah. Ben's probably just surrounded by yes men.
Yes. Also, I saw that somebody asked him, I was like, oh, how are we supposed to know? Like, if everybody has like check marks, right? How are we supposed to be able to differentiate, like who is trustworthy, like politicians or journalists or whatever? And he was like, oh, well, it's not all the time that, you know, big follower counts equals like reliable sources. You'll have to like just do your own research or something like that. I was like, what the fuck? Then what the fuck is the point? Like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing your own research though. That's a good platform.
We already did this, bro. Shut up.
What?
Oh, I thought you meant like Kyrie. Never mind.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about Kyrie. I just meant like that's not a bad statement to be saying, but in the context, yeah, it's kind of stupid. I feel like we've definitely talked about this in the podcast before, but it's really easy to just get biased by whatever you see on Twitter and not like look up both sides and do your own research. But yeah, I just hope Twitter doesn't change too much in the next couple of months, but I think it inevitably will with this guy in charge.
I think in the next 12 months, Twitter is gonna like be a completely different platform, and I don't think it's gonna be as widely used. I don't know if it's a hot take or a medium take.
I guess what platform will rise in its place?
We don't know, but something where there's speech regulation to the point, because it wasn't, to be fair, like it wasn't good on Twitter before. It wasn't this bad, but it wasn't good. I don't know, something along the lines of what it was before, maybe a little bit better with speech regulation, just like censoring out hate speech, like basically that's the biggest thing, and like, you know, racism and stuff. But I don't know what other forums there would be to get that information out because it's so widely used. But I feel like if you start charging people just to be who they are, and then somebody else can pay the same amount of money and pretend to be that person as well, it just doesn't seem like a good model. And that over time, it'll just become so cluttered with all these like blue check marks that it won't matter. Like someone like AOC, for example, right? Say, because she has a long name, that's my point, and so that it doesn't always fit in like the header of the tweet, right? but they always put the check mark like at the end. And so it doesn't actually show like the username. It shows like the profile name. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like if somebody just like copies her name and like copies her profile picture and gets a blue check mark, but like alters the username a little bit, like
No,
you
it's
have
another difference.
you have to go like actually click on the profile to see whether or not it's the same person. You know, which I feel like for a lot of people is just going to be an extra step of like either getting duped or having to do too much work to verify everything. They'll just stop using it. I don't know.
Yeah. True. As a non-Twitter user, what would you want to see on the platform for you to get onto Twitter, or you just don't ever want to use Twitter?
I mean, it's not like I don't use Twitter, but I also don't think I use it nearly as much as you guys. But honestly, there's nothing that he could do to bring me on that platform more. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I'm gonna use it for like what I use it for now is like if I'm trying to keep track of something, as in like in the past, I used it to see when sneaker releases were, or like the PS5 release, or nowadays like it always just recommends like funny tweets to me. It just says like recommended funny tweets, and that's just like good to like check up on every once in a while because you know you need a laugh in these tough days, painful days. You know, that's about it. Or like
Harsh just rolled his eyes very visibly.
Why? They're just popular tweets, man. What's wrong with that, Harsha?
Harsha, I see your likes. I see.
Yeah, he did, but when Tarun said pain and like painful days, like Harsha was just rolling his eyes over you. You don't think his pain is valuable? You don't think it's important that he's feeling pain?
Yeah, it's valued $8.
Oh. That wouldn't change anything for me. But yeah, and then I guess on top of that, I use it to like see like current events or stuff like that, like whatever's trending at the time, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck he does to the platform is not going to affect how I use it.
What's your source of like social media news or like current events and stuff like that then?
So if something happens, usually somebody that I follow on Instagram will post on their story, at which point I will either Google or just go to Twitter if I want something quick to figure out where like what's happening.
I see.
And that's it. That's the pipeline.
So it's no exploration of yourself. It's just like someone else. It's like word of mouth, and then you look into it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think his whole strategy of this like verification. I probably said this last time too. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I saw something like Twitter loses like $4 million a day, basically.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make the company like make more money, lose less money.
Yeah.
But then, I saw something about like, I forget what percentage, but there's a certain percentage of Twitter users. Like if all of them get whatever the verification thing for $8 a month, it would cover like a day of Twitter's losses. Like it would give them $4 million a month. What the fuck is the point of that? Why wouldn't he just try to make the platform better and get more advertisers on it? Because now they all left because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
It's just so brain dead, dude. For someone who's so good at running companies, he's so shit.
There's also that picture that went around like right after he bought it. It was like, oh, solving world hunger, it was $6 billion, but you bought Twitter for $44 billion or whatever the fuck it was.
Speaking of billion, did you hear that the world population hit 8 billion humans today or something like that?
I didn't see that.
Past couple days. Yeah.
Did you see the Onion article where it said that the Earth's 8 billion milestone was momentarily paused after bus crash?
No, but that's pretty funny. I wonder, do they know who the 8 billionth person is?
No, but on Ballsack Sports, they said the 8th billionth person was from Akron, Ohio.
Given the high for like population density, there's a good likelihood that the person's name was Pooja.
Where are you going with this, buddy?
I don't know, man. You're the leader of this.
Well, I was gonna say instead of shitting on other people, it's time to celebrate one of our own. But we can go with this too.
No. You can use that.
Oh yes, it is time to celebrate one of our own. Oh my god, what happened to my voice? One of our own. One of our own. Harsha recently had an event that we all participated in. well, not participated, but we pretty much just watched and clapped. But Archie, you want to explain more what happened this past weekend and why it's so monumental to you specifically?
Sure. Before I do that, though, I wanted to say one more thing about the Elon stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
I saw something on Twitter that was like, Elon manages all his companies the same way. This is just the only one that's been more public. So I think it's just what he's been doing. And
so you're saying he sucks?
He just sucks.
But he's been successful with his companies, so.
Yeah, but we just don't know how he's been managing his employees and all those. Like, it's more public on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
And like people are getting fired for just shit posting on Twitter about Elon. So
dude, yeah, I saw that, dude. That was crazy. This one guy just like was like, he's been at Twitter for like 7 years, and he just said something. He like, put out one tweet. I forgot what exactly he said, and then Elon pretty much just said like, "Pack up your bags, you're done," or something.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, whatever. He just put like the salute boss like emoji. And it was, yeah.
But
Crazy.
yeah. Anyways, my event last weekend, Amrita and I had our engagement party / puja. So this is different than what happened last year. Last year I proposed to her and we had just a regular party. This is more like official. It was like a Hindu event and something you have to do before the wedding. So this is like basically the significance is to like formally announce that you're getting married soon and where, and having like obviously the people they're going to be at the wedding also at this event, and then just telling people. It was cool. I actually didn't know what to expect because I've never been to one of these before. And like I just asked my parents. They're like, "Yeah, you just sit down for like an hour, then you eat." I was like, "Okay, that's fine. I can do that." But it was cool. I didn't have to do really much at all of like the planning or anything.
Yeah, I gotta say, shout out to Amrita and her family friends because the decorations in general were very well done. So yeah, they went off.
Yeah, it was crazy. I probably did like one panel a little bit, just helping, but they did so much, and it took like 2 weeks to put all that together. So yeah, thanks to everyone for the help. I don't know, they're definitely not listening, but
that's probably good.
Yeah, we exchanged rings, signed some contracts.
Wait, you got a ring now, bro?
Yeah, got a ring.
Let's go.
Finally. And then yeah,
he's
I got a
taken,
garland.
ladies.
And yeah, then ate food. Yeah, it was pretty simple, but it was good and kind of makes it more official, I guess, because now we're less than 6 months away. What do you guys think?
It was also my first ever engagement puja event, I guess. So I didn't know.
Oh,
what to
really?
expect.
Yours too? Wow.
Christian's an expert, actually.
Yeah.
But it was nice. It was nice to be a part of it. I'm glad we were all there for you. I don't know what else to say. Oh, I will say I could not. So I guess when you go to these pujas, you're expected to sit crisscross. And I just physically cannot do that. So in that regard, it was a little painful. But I'll practice, for whenever I need to do that next time.
Christian, you got to stretch Haran out a little bit.
Yeah, but I thought we were talking about what happened at the puja. Yeah, no, I thought it was just me that like my legs were falling asleep about 20 minutes in, but everybody around me was also like squirming, trying to get their feet to like wake up and their legs to wake up. So I didn't feel as bad. But the actual, ceremony was very nice. The only other exposure I have is obviously at Tarun's brother's wedding, which was longer, but it was a different ceremony, if I'm right. But equally as nice. So good to get prepared, even though Harsha, you tell me if I'm wrong, but we will be participating on the wedding day as the groomsmen doing something, so we won't just be sitting around. Is that true?
I don't know. I think you guys are just sitting around.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Oh, good. We're getting lots of training in for that. So, yeah.
There'll be chairs though, so
Oh,
there'll be chairs
that's
for everybody.
great.
That's
that's
great.
you know what? That's
I'll
all I
still
can
say
ask for.
crisscross out of
Yeah.
out of solidarity with you. True in any comments as best man. You piece of shit.
Oh,
Good job,
Hostile.
Harsha. Good job, Amrita. I know you're listening. Great job. Thank you.
How to the priest?
Yeah, shout out to the priest.
yeah. What about
Yeah.
photographer?
Shout out to the priest for coming early.
Shout out to photographer.
Shout
Shout
out to
out,
the photographer for staying late.
shout out to everybody. If you were there, shout
You're
out
a
to
part of
you.
something special.
Yeah.
But we're not done celebrating Harsha. There's another piece of big news that he's yet to reveal to the podcast. And we'll get to that right after this ad. And we're backed. Sorry. And we're back.
Yeah, up to
we're
bat.
back. We're back from the previous backed. Harsha, we're stop teasing us. What do you just tell all of us? What has happened in your
Yeah,
life?
definitely not heard. this
I'm
before.
leaving. I'm leaving Virginia.
You're leaving the podcast? Oh, what?
Oh, that's okay.
Dang it.
Dang it.
I never thought this day would come, but I am leaving.
Where are you headed to? What's going on?
I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to go get my part-time. Get my MBA, but do it part-time at U Chicago. So yeah, I'm excited. It starts in January, so it's right around the corner, like a month and a half to figure out how to live by myself. And I won't figure out everything by then, but I need to figure out how to get there and find a place and do that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun, but I'll be gone for just a quarter and be back the quarter of my wedding. So not going for too long just yet.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Was this a hard decision for you to make, going to Chicago? You had a lot of options.
No, I didn't.
That's so rude. You didn't have to say that, man.
So I had options between Chicago and Chicago, so then I picked Chicago. So
What's the name of the business school for the podcast?
Booth.
Booth.
John Booth's boot?
Name
I
the
hope it's
killer
not that
rapper.
Damn.
I'm excited for you. But I mean, Chicago in the winter is gonna be definitely interesting. But
I'm gonna buy myself a Canada Goose. I think.
Oh.
Things were
the red to one, I thought Grey Goose was the name of the jacket brand, not Canada Goose. I'm an idiot. Yeah, but I think when summer rolls around after your wedding, you'll have a nice summer there for sure. So
Yeah, especially Amrita visiting all the time from Urbana because I'm never going there, right?
that was unnecessary to share on the
Damn,
podcast. But
that was just-
You hear that, Amrita?
will she be out there by then?
She'll be there in the summer.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we'll be sure to visit him too, right, guys?
Yeah, visit me in January,
Oh no, maybe
February, maybe.
maybe after the wedding.
quarters, they're pretty short, so it's gonna fly by, man.
Yeah.
I feel like actually, if we all want to link up, we will go to Harsha because he'll be the center. Damn.
I
What?
mean, damn.
Why'd you say damn?
I want you guys to come to me.
Why did you move to the center then? Go to
I
fucking
can't move
Oklahoma
to the
City
center.
right
I'm
now.
not going to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I mean, I'll still go to New York, bro. I know more people in New York than I know in Chicago.
Same. I know only one person. Me.
It's sad.
My mom
You have
asked me
friends?
yesterday. My mom asked me yesterday. She was like, "So Harshi, do you have any friends in Chicago? You know anybody?" It's like, no. She was like, "Oh, how are you gonna make friends?"
Okay, bro, I get this question every time when I say I'm moving to LA. So
You'll make
Yeah.
friends, but just go ball. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah,
Bro,
I'm
just
gonna do that. They
just
have
go
a-
to
they have a
South, go to
basketball-
Southside, bro. You'll make some good friends there. You
They have,
some
they have a
real good
basketball
friends.
club though, so I'll join it.
Nice.
So, like, what the fuck are you gonna do in Chicago? Realistically, you're gonna work during the day. You have classes at night.
Classes
Is there
at
more time
night,
to count
and a
for?
weekend.
Oh, okay.
Classes at night, just twice a week.
And then,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do with the rest of your time?
Homework.
Cool.
Are you
I don't
worried
know.
about?
I think like one of the most important things about doing MBA is like meeting people and like putting stuff out there and going to these clubs and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to do that as much as I
Okay,
can.
be one of those guys, man.
Yeah, keep myself busy. Do that. Meet people. Then play basketball. Watch the Bears. Pretty much it.
The Bears in January.
Yeah, there's 18 weeks in the season now.
So you watch what, one game?
Yeah.
Are you nervous or scared about starting this new chapter of your life, like essentially alone?
No.
Stop smiling, True. What the fuck?
I'm curious
Yeah,
to
you're
hear the answer.
smiling, bro. You're just fucking smiling.
No, not yet. I think maybe closer to,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff I have to do before then.
yeah.
I think I'm just more worried about finding an apartment.
Mm. You're gonna live alone?
Yeah, I'm gonna live alone.
Hey man, you saw me get through it. You'll be fine. I mean, I was definitely in a better position than you were in terms of like
Damn,
meals
you're
being
fucked?
meals.
Oh.
No, I'm thinking I think like with meals being accounted for and like that
Yeah.
in that regard, and like mine already being furnished and shit. But you'll find a way, man. Don't worry about it.
I hope your workload's like not that deep. I don't know. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that would suck if like you didn't have time to do anything else. Because I know work is already pretty tough for you. Not tough, but like long.
It has its
Well,
moments.
That
Yeah.
could be a positive. Is that if the whole crypto industry just like explodes, like
Well,
you'll
you
have
don't
more
have a
free
job
time.
anymore.
You'll have more free time.
What do you mean? You just doesn't have a job?
Yeah.
Wait, Harsha, if you did this full time, could you have finished in a year or something?
No, it's 2 years
Hmm.
because they take the summer off.
Hmm.
Wait, so you're doing 1 quarter and then starting again in fall?
No, we're starting the summer.
You just said that they take the summer off.
No, for the full time students. it
I
takes
see.
summer.
Oh.
That's why it takes 2
That
years.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So on your quarter off, are you gonna go back to your apartment that much? Because like you're still paying for it, right? Are you gonna try and sublet? it,
Yeah,
or-
I'm gonna try and get somebody to live there, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not gonna go back until after the wedding,
Hmm.
just because I have to fly there.
I heard it's a really pretty drive if you go through Cleveland.
No, he'll get distracted if he goes to Cleveland.
Just drive into the
But just
river
stop.
that's on
Stop.
fire.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought about like not getting an apartment and then getting an apartment for real like after the wedding, but
Hmm.
I think it's just better if I just get an apartment instead of having to move my stuff
Twice.
there and
Twice.
back.
Yeah, you know.
Like I'd rather just pay the 2 months rent.
Hey, Haran, can you do something for me?
Yeah, 21. Yeah, keep going.
Can you talk to the ops next for me?
I forgot what the next ad-lib was. Yeah. 21. So what Christian was doing there was singing a song off the new 21 Drake album.
Singing is a stretch, but
Yeah, I guess reciting a lyric from a song in the new 21 Drake album called Her Loss, which came out 2 weeks ago now.
Sure.
I think. But yeah, what were you guys' thoughts on that album?
They're just so horny.
It's mostly Drake. It's a little bit.
I think
21.
Drake has like pushed 21 to become even more horny.
He's also like Drake's like mid 30s, right?
Yeah, he's like 37.
What?
Bro,
No?
I think he's like
Guy.
32 or 33.
Oh. I think it's like 38. I found
36.
Damn.
Old bitch. Sorry. Just kidding.
I'm sure,
Jesus Christ.
I'm sure he really appreciates that.
Wait, that means he came up when he was 22. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, yeah. So I guess some context. So when the album dropped, Christian was playing it on call for us. Like, I don't think Trina was there by that point. It was just me and Harsha. And the first 3 songs, we were just fucking laughing pretty much. And I listened to the rest of the album after we got off the call, just like while I was going to sleep. And I thought it got progressively better. I think my final take on the album now, after listening a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 times through, the lyrics are pretty corny when you consider Drake's age and like, just like, I don't know, just pretty much just Drake's age and like just what he's been through. I feel like it's kind of corny to be like rapping about some of this shit. But that being said, I feel like there are some pretty decent songs on here. I don't think there are any banger songs, but there are definitely a lot of decent songs on the album. It's definitely it's pretty much like a 70% Drake album, 30% 21 album, which is not what I wanted for, just because as of right now, I'm a bigger 21 Savage fan than I am a Drake fan, personally. But first time through listening, I thought it was a 4 out of 10, but now after like listening through 4 or 5 times, I think it's like a 7. Definitely still left more to be desired, but it wasn't overall too bad. Definitely a step up from Drake's fucking dance pop album that came out in May or whatever, or June.
I echo those thoughts. Except I like that it was more Drake, not completely 21. Because I feel like 21 is very his lyrics a little
Limited.
bit more aggressive, and I prefer Drake's I don't even know if you want to call it melodic. I don't know, like singy rap over 21 sometimes.
But that's delivery. You're talking about delivery or lyrics?
Delivery, I guess delivery, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I listened to this album one time through. Like half of it was when Christian was playing it that day. Listened to the half like just after that. I think the back half of the album was better. Overall, the album was not good because of what Haran said, and for that reason, I give this like a 5.5, just to not give it a 5.
I didn't have.
Oh, also, sorry. The day he posted the album, those sus ass Instagram stories definitely
So
lowered
not
the
to 6?
rating too.
Is that a 10 for you, Harsha? Okay.
No, lowered that shit.
Yo,
I thought Harsha was an avid reader and
no, we're
consumer
not
of
even. We're not
Hentai.
doing this. We're not doing this. Yeah. So I mean, I was the one playing it, so I didn't have a diluted, whatever audio of just the album while I was playing it. But yeah, Drake just frustrates me as an artist. Like
Sexually.
artistically.
Okay, yeah, same. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yo, you got some shit you got to work out. But yeah, it's just frustrating, man. Like, there's times in this album I was like, oh damn, like this actually like I kind of like this Drake, but there's times in this album where he's just such a fucking weirdo.
Dude, brother, what's that song where he literally has like a 4-minute outro where he's just singing, bro? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Dude, that was it went on for so fucking long. It like literally ruined the song for no reason.
there's just no. And I applaud him for being experimental, like trying different shit. But I don't fucking know. He's just annoying, man. Like, I know we just touched on it a bunch. The fact that he's almost 40 and he's talking about like
Pussy in Millions.
kind of, but like it's just the way he approaches things. He was like, it was like a line was like, "If you a dog, I'm a dog." Roof. Like, bro, like you're almost 40 and you're saying shit like that. Like, bro, I don't know. It's just annoying. Like, there's actually some like there's a few like there's some songs on this album that are just one of the artists. Like, there's like 4 Drake songs and then 121 song, and the rest are mixed. Kind of like how we mentioned before, not really like 50-50 split. I think first time through was definitely like a 3, and then the second time through was probably like a 6.5, which is a lot higher up than pretty much everything I think Drake has released since If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Like, I probably wouldn't give any of those other albums except for maybe Views
Oh yeah.
like above a 5.
Scorpion?
So
Not a fan of Scorpion, bro.
nah, man.
All 40 songs of Scorpion.
Dude. Like, the thing is that Drake has become like the epitome of a popular artist that puts out quantity over quality. Like, between all, I'm sure I can find like 4 or 5 songs on each of those albums that I like. But if you have like 35 songs, like
What's the point? Yeah.
the fucking hit rate is so low. So yeah, I wish there was more 21. I think there were also a couple of times where he was a little cringy, but his lines make me geek because he's not taking himself seriously. So the problem with Drake is I think he's trying to take himself seriously. I think that's probably the main thing. But I do enjoy the memes that came out of this album. The memes out of this album were A1. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the WWE like intro thing where they played the intro of the song, where like they have like Drake like dressing or walking like a girl, like doing like all the hand motions. This shit was a geek, and they showed a 21 Savage on stream, and he was like, "No, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah, he's so uncomfortable, bro.
But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I think 21 was just underutilized in this album. It didn't play to his strengths. Which makes me more excited for the Metro project coming out because I feel like he'll be prominent on that.
I don't know. I think he'll do a lot with more different artists and like he did before. But yeah, hopefully he's on there.
I feel like 21 will still be on like 3 or 4 songs, so this should be good. But anyway, yeah. I guess all in all, we're all kind of underwhelmed a little bit by the album, but it's nice to see Drake actually rapping kind of again, as opposed to his recent attempts.
But to continue our review process, the rest of this episode will be filled with spoilers of the latest Marvel movie, Black Panther 2. Is there a subtitle? Is it just Black Panther?
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever. So, yeah, if you have not watched this movie and you want to see it, then skip to the end of this episode, or just skip to the end of this episode. So
yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
Or actually, no, don't skip to the end of this episode. Like, just put your volume down and wait until we're done talking.
Yeah, we need that
it.
retention rate.
So, anyway, continue. Harsha, I know you saw it separately from the three of us, so I would like your opinion first, so that we get your opinion, and it's not different than ours.
Yeah, I saw it on Sunday with my cousins and my brother, and okay,
that's all necessary. Why are you saying L so much, bro?
I'll tell you after.
Initially, I liked the movie overall, just because I had low expectations for it, considering the other recent Marvel movies that came out. And I think I also liked it because I saw it fairly early, so I didn't have anyone else's impressions before going in. I feel like my problem with the initial Black Panther movie was that I saw it like 2 weeks after, and everyone was raving about it. And even though it was a good movie, I was kind of underwhelmed.
Wait, did Black Panther didn't it get nominated for like Academy, like Best Picture award, like the first one? Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Sorry.
Well, what would you guys rate the first one?
Like a 7?
7.5.
Damn,
Really?
bro, I got that as like a 9.
That's what I thought too. I thought
Nah,
it was
bro,
like
it's kind of cringe. I think the third act of that movie is pretty shit. Like the fight scene, like with him and Killmonger at the end was pretty ass. I don't know, when I rewatched it at least.
Wait, I like that whole end scene, the whole end fight scene, like the whole thing, like starting from when he comes back and he's like, "I'm back, bitch," like starting from there.
I just feel like that fight scene of them like in the whatever underground thing they were in with like the metro whatever going past them, like whatever that shit.
Metro
like train. It was just I just feel like it visually didn't look that good, but that's like Marvel's problem with most of the third acts in my opinion. But I also thought like the storyline was okay. I think like the characters were good. Like it's a good movie. It's one of the better like first Marvel movies out there, but for the hype that it got, I think it was kind of not right. But I mean, that was just my opinion.
Anyway,
I don't think it was Best Picture. I don't think it was Academy Award winning kind of film, in my opinion.
I think it's more of a cultural impact than like the actual like movie.
Yeah, the cultural impact of that movie was the soundtrack's amazing. The visuals of that movie is great. But the soundtrack was what?
I don't think you don't get it nominated for an Academy Award because of your soundtrack. You get nominated for a Grammy for it.
It's part of it though. Like not the original, not Kendrick's soundtrack. I mean, even like the movie soundtrack was good too. Like, I feel like everything as a whole,
you mean the score?
spectacle. Yeah, sorry, the score.
Okay.
Like as a whole, I mean, I was saying the soundtrack as in referring to Kendrick and Ludwig Göransson, whatever that composer was. It was a spectacle. I just don't think as like a movie it's that strong. But yeah. Okay, sorry. Second movie. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think everything there just got cut out because it's completely irrelevant. Well, not completely, but
I should continue.
Yeah. So what was I saying before we cut? I was saying
the first one you were underwhelmed.
Yeah, the first one I was
expectation
underwhelmed by the first one. So I think I like this. I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well, 7.5 maybe. Like similar rating, but I was less disappointed than I was coming out of this one than the first one. Some things I didn't like was that it's kind of slow. I think building up to the last fight scene kind of took a little bit too long. It was cool that they dove into wasn't Namor. Is that his name? Namor.
Yeah,
like that guy's backstory. I thought it was good. His backstory and how he justified like what he wanted to do. His pointy ears look kind of funny, but he was a good character. And I I really liked her Black Panther outfit. I thought it was really cool.
I'll go next to somebody who doesn't give a shit about movies like in general. That being said, I'm also not the type of person to normally go home and like look up like not conspiracy theories, but just kind of like I don't know
Fan theories.
fan theories and people analyzing the plot. And that movie did absolutely nothing to change that, so I still don't do that shit. Because I walked out of this movie and I was so fucking frustrated because
Sexually, not
what? What are you gonna say?
No, I just said sexually again. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Because it's just so. All right, so I had the opposite experience of hardship. Was there for this one? I saw a bunch of people being like, "Oh, this is the best Marvel movie since fucking Avengers" and all this bullcrap. And like, I was like, "Damn, is it really like?" Because like I said, I rate the first Avengers like a lot, and so I was like, "Damn, like I don't think this one will be as good, but maybe it can be close." And I'm not gonna go as far to say that like this does disgrace to the Black Panther name to have this movie attached to it, but I will mention that could be said. I like some of the characters. I do like the villain a little bit. I think the ending is completely fucking stupid. A lot of we talked about this at the theater, but the CIA fucking thing is the biggest waste of time in this entire movie because there's actually no resolution whatsoever. There's gonna be a World War III and fucking Black Panther 3. Spoilers for the spoilers. I don't fucking know. I wish that they did a lot more with the underwater place. I feel like that was an untapped potential.
Talokan.
I understand why they brought like an outsider in because she's smart as hell, but also the character didn't really line up that well. It was like the reasoning behind it, other than the fact that she's smart.
Yeah, it's kind of forced.
Like if she was like kind of like how T'Challa was in the first movie, like living in America and found out he was Wakandan or something like that. I think that would make more sense to me, but that just didn't. It wasn't there. So I would give this movie like a 5.5 out of 10, but it was filmed in Boston a little bit, so I guess like a 6.5.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about this was I think that they did a good job addressing Chadwick Boseman's death.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt that part came across pretty good.
Yeah, I think something important to preface is that Ryan Coogler and his team were like they'd already like pretty much had the script written with Chadwick in the movie, and like they'd already sent it to Chadwick saying like take a look at it, all this stuff. And then like a month later, Chadwick passed away sadly, and then like they had to pretty much I don't know how much they rewrote. I don't know if they really made public what the story was going to be beforehand, but they had to like rewrite everything with like the side characters essentially of like Black Panther, the first Black Panther.
And so I will say that it felt like she was a side character in this movie as well, at least to me.
I thought she put in a pretty good performance.
I don't mean her acting. I just meant like the character itself.
Yeah, I think like they tried their hardest to make her a main character because they needed like someone to take that mantle, right? And I feel like watching this movie, the first thing I kind of thought was like Chadwick Boseman presence was missed like pretty thoroughly in this movie. I feel like he just like has like that. I don't know if it's the aura, but I guess like after like, being in like 4 Marvel movies in a row, like you just associate Black Panther with him, and with him not in the film, it kind of just feels off. But that being said, I thought his mother, I forgot the character's name, but the Queen and Shuri, like their performances were really good in the movie, and I feel like they kind of carried it. Honestly, I kind of wish the Queen didn't die because I feel like she was carrying that movie pretty hard. Like she went off. But I think the general story was not too bad. I think we talked about this after watching in theaters, but like it just feels like whatever they do with now with the CIA story and then like Riri Williams' character, like the Ironheart character, like everything just seems forced to just make more movies and shows out of it. So it's like kind of, I don't know, it's hard to feel like invested in the storylines because like they're going to be fleshed out for like later down the line. And they're kind of just like putting them in now so they can talk about them later. But in terms of like the main storyline was just like the battle between Wakanda and Talokan, the underwater city. I thought it was cool for them to draw comparisons. One thing I really wish they did was like they showed like the underwater city a lot more. I feel like they were supposed to like believe that it's like the Wakanda equivalent, but kind of when they showed it, it was just like dark and like kind of, I don't know, it wasn't like as nice looking as I thought it to be. Yeah, have you guys seen Aquaman? Like, I don't know if anyone's seen Aquaman, but they show Atlantis in Aquaman, and like that shit looks hella nice and like over the top kind of nice, like with this like super like bright and like all these like crazy things going down like there. But here it was kind of looked like it was like it wasn't a shipwreck, but they were pretty much like living in a cove, but just like kind of like dark and just like not that nice looking. I don't know. I kind of wish they made it look a little nice compared to like what Wakanda looks like to all of us. But I thought the characters were good. The story was kind of, and like Christian said, the ending was pretty stupid when you think like they pretty much kill like half their warriors for nothing because they just united at the end. They could have saved so many lives, but yeah, I would give it like a 7.5. I think the biggest thing was that the fact that it was like the first serious Marvel movie in a long time. And like they didn't have to like, because usually like the Marvel formula recently is just like, oh, let's dilute the storyline, which is a bunch of jokes to like relieve like the feelings and like the hardships that the characters are going through for no reason, to the point where like Thor 4 was a joke, or Thor 3 was a joke, or 4, yeah, Thor 4 was a joke. But I'm glad that they didn't really do that with this movie too much. They let it be serious because it's a serious thing, right? Going through all that grief. So for that, I commend the director. But yeah, I think a 7.5 is my rating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more I can add to that. I think it's like a 6 out of 10. I think the movie was super slow. I think the plot, much like any movie that's come out after Infinity War, made me not feel anything or not really give a shit about what happens to the characters. For example, in the ending, I didn't really give a shit whether Namor died or whether he lived or whatever the fuck was going on with Shuri. I really did not care. I think they wasted so much time with the CIA stuff when they could have been using that, Haran, to your point, to either better show off the technology that the Talokan people had, or even at least just show more of like, because like Wakandans are like the most advanced people out there, right? And I feel like they didn't. I don't know. I don't think they really like utilize like that portion of their being at all. Really, like even when she made the new suits for Okoye and the other girl. Number one, why didn't they give those suits to like fucking everybody? Number two, even with those suits, they just added like Iron Man boosters to the shoes, and then they called it like a new suit. Like, what the fuck was the difference, fam? Because she said in the movie, like the blue ones with the long hair and shit is supposed to level the playing field. So I thought they were all gonna go into the water and fight these water people with these new suits, and it was gonna be some crazy shit, and they were gonna go to Talokan and fight there or something, whatever.
I think it makes more sense to not put it out there, fight them down there, because then they're just being disadvantaged, right? Because they don't know the terrains like the Talokan people.
No, I know, but like I feel like
I know, I understand what you're saying though.
Yeah, and I also feel like when people are fighting, like in these movies, like when they're fighting, like somewhat at a disadvantage, but they still win, it gives me more like, I don't know, I care a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like the Ironheart girl was like an afterthought. The ending was really fucking stupid. The CIA shit was stupid. Also like Shuri, like I get the part that like, you know, she got like the vibranium plant and like made the DNA to make the other thing.
Yeah.
That felt like really easy. I don't know. To me, I guess it's a good way to like progress.
But I think it was payoff because she couldn't do it when her brother died, and like she has to like deal with that.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I'm not too fussed about that part. It just still felt kind of like a I don't know. So
I had a really bad feeling that they were gonna like try to do like a Fast and Furious thing where like they use like a body double or something to like bring Chadwick Boseman back when like he goes to ancestral plane. But I'm glad that instead they brought Killmonger in and like had that like kind of not like a plot twist, but like a different arc to Shuri's character.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I like that too. One more thing that I thought about before I went to bed last night, this was yesterday, was like in the beginning of the movie when Okoye first fought them on that bridge when they were saving that scientist girl. she like essentially like killed them with the spear, and they came back to life, right?
Mhm.
Okay, they never addressed that, right?
Yeah, they never talked about that ever again. Like they didn't like when they're on the side of the ship and like Shuri was like Black Panther on these fuckers, and she like scratched them. They were just like, oh